or the shaken. Now, I was going to be making like a bunch of different shorts on this, and so we're going to wait for a couple people to chime in. And the reason I made this was because I had a couple friends call me, and they were wondering what's going on with beef right now. And I try to keep my ear to the ground on what's actually coming down the pipeline. Not that we're like a huge beef operation, but we do raise cattle for friends and family right now. And we would like to increase that to actually, you know, at one point in time, maybe become like a commercial operation. But until then, I'm going to keep plugging away in my shop. I'm going to keep building stuff like this for customers. Um, I will be talking about trucking in the near future. If you guys would have told me what my life would be like right now 6 weeks ago, I'd have said you're crazy. So, anyways, getting back to ground beef a little bit. The first call that I had was from my buddy Randy, who he just was like, "What's going on?" He was seeing a lot of negative stuff. Um, and the reason I decided to do a live video on this was because I want to be able to talk like in greater length about it. And if you put a short together, it has to be like real fast paced. And I feel like we got a lot of stuff to cover. So if you guys have any questions at all, go ahead and feel free to put them on, and I'll try and keep an eye on them as they scroll up. Sorry. Juan for the money's number one. But anyways, getting into beef, you guys have ranchers that are on complete both sides of the spectrum. Now, I don't consider myself to be like a mega professional in this, but I think the guys that are going to suffer the most from this are the ones that sell to the very huge mega corporations. The guys that sell a lot of the trimmings, the leftover undesirable parts of the cattle, older cattle that would not taste so great otherwise. And a lot of this beef goes into hamburger patties for these big mega fast food chains. So, is there a need for it? There definitely is. I'm not saying that um, it's great for those ranchers. It is going to be kind of unfortunate, but the bulk, if you look at what's actually going to be coming in from Argentina, is a lot of that kind of stuff. It's not going to be like your good cuts of steak that everybody wants, your T-bones, your prime rib, porterhouse filet, tomahawks, even though low key, I think tomahawks are overrated. I think it's too much steak. Um, but those are the ranchers that are going to feel it most because all the stuff coming in from Argentina, or at least most of it, is going to be going to those big corporations that just mix it up and turn it into a product. So will the price of hamburgers at Carl's Jr. go down? I hope so because it is crazy how much those things cost right now. I remember it was just like 10 years ago. I think it was 2 for $6. You could get a double Western bacon cheeseburger. Um, get two of them for $6, and now one of them I think is $8, which I mean that's insane how much one of those burgers costs now, and there's really not that much to it. So it is a shame because as far as like the huge mega chains, that was my favorite burger. If anyone's interested, double Western bacon cheeseburger, loved them, loved them, loved them, but they're so expensive now. I don't ever get them because for a combo, I think it's like $18. And I know we're in San Diego and it's more expensive than everywhere else, but I think that's what it is. So, anyways, um, going back to the other side of it with ranchers such as myself who raise cattle on a more personal level. It's not just like a number walking out in a field somewhere. We take a lot of time to raise our cattle in a very, I don't know what the correct term would be. We take good care of them. The first 18 months of their lives, they are pretty much free range. They come in every night. They know my voice. As soon as I call them home, they come walking. They know who I am. And I really like the relationship that I have with my cattle. Most of them will come up and eat out of my hand. Even my longhorn bull will do that. Now, that one's kind of scary. I think one of my kids just showed up. So they may be popping in any second. Hey, Shy, you're fine. You can come in. So, anyways, free range. They get supplemental feed at the end of every day. They get minerals. Um, they get treats from time to time, and then towards, I would say maybe like, after about 18 months, they get separated from the other parts of the herd, and they start to get a very specific diet that's heavy on the grains. They get beer mash. They get special minerals. They're fed a lot of alfalfa, and they're just tended to on a very close level. So we monitor a couple things to know when they're ready, and then once they meet certain thresholds, and we have somebody that wants them, they can even come meet them if they want. So it's a pretty cool process. Start to finish, it ranges anywhere from 2 to 2.5 years. And it's a lot of work that goes into these cattle. So ranchers such as myself, I don't think Argentina is going to make a dent whatsoever in anything that we have going on. Now, there are ranchers that have turned record profits over the past couple of years just because of the demand for beef is so high and the supply is so limited. So I'm really curious to see. Oh, it's fine. Thank you. I'm really curious to see what happens to the price of beef in the stores. I think really what should happen is we should import breeding stock to help increase the numbers that we have here. And I know the border in Mexico is just about to open back up. I've heard that too. I'm going to look a little bit more into that with the cattle that come across. But trade was shut down for a long time because the cattle over there had some disease that we did not want in the States. And so I think they've gotten it under control, but I need to look into that a little bit more. Hang on one second. What is it? Maybe.
Well, maybe in 5 years, beef will be like $20 a pound.
Oh, my daughter says maybe in 5 years, beef will be $20 a pound. I'll be honest, guys. I wouldn't put it past it. There's a lot of other stuff that I want to talk about that is not beef related. Trucking being one of those, real estate in California being one of those, and AI. I got a couple conspiracy theories about AI and trucking right now, which I have not heard anyone talk about. This is all stuff that's just been brewing up here. So maybe I'll do a live video on that next. But yeah, that's my thoughts on beef. The guys that are going to hurt most are the ones that sell to the big corporations that just turn it up for stuff that you buy in the stores. And I still don't think it's like a big enough dent to really get too crazy. And if I'm wrong, please comment below. Because we already import a ton of beef from like Australia, Brazil. We're already doing it. He's just doing it with another country on a larger scale. So anyways, that's my 2 cents. I'm not concerned about it. I think your local ranchers are still going to provide the best products possible. Because they're going to be clean, they're going to be well cared for, and you know where they're coming from. The stuff you buy in the stores, you have no idea where any of that stuff comes from, typically. So anyways, yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. That's going to be the end of this live video. I am going to send it off to, I use Opus Clips, and they'll make a bunch of shorts for me. So yeah, if you guys want to like this little live video that I did, I would appreciate it. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.